Well, hello and welcome everybody to our DFY Preview today. Thank you so much for registering, and I've got some really great information to share with you, and I'm excited to do just that. My name is Kevin Clayson, and I'm actually one of the original founders here at DFY, and I'm also the Vice President in charge of marketing, and so it's my job to be able to tell the story of who we are and what we do so that you can see how it may benefit you in your life. You know, here at DFY, we always say it's time to redefine. And what we mean by that is it's time to redefine a variety of things, right? It's time to redefine your financial future. It's time to redefine your retirement. It's time to redefine your life in a lot of ways. And what I'm going to share with you here today is going to be just that. You know, at our core, we all kind of want the same basic things. We want financial security for our family. We want to be able to kind of make the choice of how we want to live and the type of lifestyle we want to lead. And we want to generally just be happy and fulfilled. And I have complete faith that what I'm going to show you here today is going to do all of those things. Just to give you a little bit of background on who DFY is, we've been around for about 10 years, and I'll go over some of what we've accomplished a little bit later, but we've had this incredible opportunity, and really, to me, it feels like a blessing, to be able to work with people from all over the country, from coast to coast, for the last 10 years, helping them redefine their retirement one investment at a time. And the results have been staggering, and I'll show you some of those a little bit later. Today, ultimately, what I want to do is I want to share a couple things with you. I want to share with you what it really means to redefine. And I want to share with you just a couple of things that I think will be really beneficial. I'm so thankful that you're here because I know for a fact that what you're going to hear today is going to feel new, and I guarantee it's going to make a difference for you and for your family, which is important to me because I'm a family guy, so my family's important, as I'm sure yours is to you. What I wanted to do and what I thought would be good to just kind of give a general introduction is I'm going to play a quick 4-minute video. And this is an awesome video that you're going to hear from some of our clients. You're going to hear from my business partner and our CEO, Steve Earle. And you're going to see a little bit more about who we are and what we do, but more importantly, what we do for people and individuals like yourself. So I'll go ahead and play that, and we'll be right back with you in about 4 minutes.
Before we found Done For You Real Estate, I was working full time and putting as many hours as I could in, and there was just no way for me to create any residual income, and I really felt like I was just going to be working until I died.
I was disabled in 1997, and so my income plummeted.
And I'd always wanted to do real estate, but I didn't have the education, the time, or the money to want to invest in what it would take to do it all by yourself.
I'm Steve Earle, CEO of DFY, and we have a framework that we want to teach you that will help you replace your current income through consistent, conservative, and predictable real estate investments. We have a mantra around the DFY office, and it is this: it's time to redefine your retirement, that is. And here's what I mean by that. Too many people have their eyes fixed on one day, hoping that traditional retirement plans, unpredictable market fluctuations, and accumulating a nest egg over a 30-year work career will be the answer. But what they should be focused on is freeing their family from financial burden at the speed of now.
I remember as I first learned about Done For You Real Estate, I said, this is going to do for real estate what mutual funds did for the stock market. And that, to me, was just remarkable, because that made stock available to everybody, even the little guy. And now suddenly Done For You Real Estate's making investing in real estate available for anybody.
I know what it's like to feel unsure and insecure about the future. We are bombarded by endless commercials from investment companies telling us what we're supposed to be doing to achieve financial peace, only to sit back and do the math and realize that we have a long way to go.
The first time that I met with the project manager, it was so surprising to me that they were able to take our current financial situation, and where I didn't see any options whatsoever to begin investing in real estate, they were able to find options that I didn't know even existed.
The first step is to schedule a call with one of our dedicated specialists. Sometimes you just need someone to help you see what you can't see and nudge you in the right direction. Step 2 is to create a customized and personalized game plan. We take your answers from step 1 and help you combine those answers with your values, your specific wants, dreams, and wishes, and with the resources you have at your fingertips, and then help you understand how to insert this information into a framework that can begin replacing your income. Step 3 is you begin investing. You begin investing according to your plan, your values, and your resources.
Another thing that happened when I first started, with Done For You, is you guys pulled me in and says, hey, you buy your first house, and then, after a while, you buy another house, and you sell a house, and you buy 2 houses, and you guys said, hey, after 10 years, you could have 10 houses. And I thought, no way. There was no way that in 10 years I was going to have 10 properties. But as I bought more and more properties and sold one and bought 2 and sold another one and bought 2, I realized that what you guys said in the very beginning was exactly right.
DFY will give you everything you need to help you begin replacing your income, one real estate investment at a time. We deliver the properties, the financing, the insurance services, the property management teams, and everything in between so that you can keep starring in the movie of your own life without having to rewrite the script.
You realize, oh, that's right, I have to have insurance for all these homes. Oh, well, okay, all set. Call's already been made. Policy should be in your email, in the next 5 minutes. Everything that you needed was anticipated.
It doesn't have to be super stressful and weighty and scary. Real estate investing can be fun.
Thousands of families have already begun replacing their income and redefining their retirement story using the DFY framework. Join us. Schedule a call today.
Okay, so I hope that video was helpful. What I really want to spend a couple minutes on is this idea of retirement. Now, you hopefully got a feel from the video that that's really what we know we're here to do, is we're here to help you redefine your retirement one real estate investment at a time. And today I'm going to talk about why real estate, and I'm going to compare it against a few other things, and we're going to talk a little bit about the retirement crisis. Now, here's the important thing. Whether you are 20 years old or 65 years old, there are some very similar challenges and problems that I know you're facing in order to kind of achieve the level that you want to achieve. And yes, we're going to be talking about retirement, but I want you to understand what retirement means to me. This is why we say it's time to redefine retirement. Retirement for most people is a sandy beach and some sort of a tropical drink. We've come to realize over the last 10 years that that is actually not the retirement that most people are seeking. When we started our company, the whole idea was to try to go out there and be sort of disruptive in the real estate industry. We kind of come from a background of what I'll call the real estate education industry, which is awesome, but this was back in 2007, that was kind of its heyday, right? There were all of these seminars that were rolling into town, and you'd get these emails or these mailers about them, and they'd want you to come and show up, and then they would pitch you some sort of a product, and you would spend, $2,000 to $10,000 on the spot, and then they would bring you to some sort of a boot camp, and then you'd spend more money, so on and so forth. And it was a multi-billion-dollar industry that was designed to get you to pay money for education. Now, this worked really well because in this country, we kind of know we've got this sort of history and this background of, we understand that when we invest in education, it could translate to more financial means. And so the real estate education industry was really preying on that idea. Now, the problem was less than 3% of the folks that went and spent all these dollars on real estate education, less than 3% actually went and transacted real estate. So when we started our company, we wanted to be the disruptors, and we said, look, it's not about learning how to do real estate, although that's important. It's about actually doing real estate, physically getting it done. And we just thought we were going to be a somewhat disruptive but fairly standard real estate investment company. Over the last 10 years, and over the hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate that we've been able to help our clients successfully transact, we've come to realize that we're not just your normal run-of-the-mill investment company. We help people replace their income, one investment at a time, so they can finally free their family from financial burden and begin to experience the lifestyle, the retirement that they want. And here's what we know. When it comes to retirement, there's generally two things you don't get to choose. Okay, number one thing that most people don't get to choose when it comes to retirement is you usually don't get to choose the time that you want to retire. My dad is a great example of this. My dad is awesome. I was just in California, surprised him for his 80th birthday. And my dad worked so hard my entire childhood and my adult life. In fact, he worked so hard, he worked until just a few years ago when he was in his 70s. And the reason for that is he didn't have a traditional retirement or a traditional, pension that was going to allow him to retire at age 65. And 401ks and IRAs in the stock market, like I'll show you here in a second, didn't work for him and we know the data's in, it doesn't work for nearly 80% of folks that are putting money into 401ks and IRAs. And I'll show you those numbers here in just a moment. And so he had to keep working. He couldn't choose the time that he wanted to retire because he was sort of compelled to continue to work to generate an income. Today, mom and dad largely are dependent on Social Security. I'm thankful Social Security is there for them. But I want to ask you the question, do you want more than Social Security? And I hope the answer is yes. If the answer is no, this may not be the right presentation for you. But if the answer is yes, I want to choose when I want to retire. And number two, the other thing we typically don't get to choose upon retirement is we don't get to choose the income we earn while retired. So if you're somebody who says, look, I want to choose when I want to retire, I want to pick the day, I want to pick the age, and I want to pick the income, then you're in the right spot. And I'm going to share some information with you that I think will be really helpful to help give you a few steps further down that road and into that direction. So what we're going to show you today is how you have the ability to choose both the age at which you retire, the time frame, and the income. But if we're going to talk about income, we got to make sure that you understand we have to redefine not just retirement, but redefine what this income may mean for you. And here's what I mean by that. I want to ask this question that unfortunately has been asked at probably every single sort of investment or financial seminar since the advent of mankind, but I want to make sure that you understand some really key principles here. So I'll go through this relatively quickly, but these are things that are going to be really important to your ability to redefine your future and your retirement. So I want to ask the question, what is financial freedom? Now, I'll share a story with you of what I believe financial freedom is, and then I'll give you the definition. So, maybe about a year ago, I had a friend of mine who was moving, and he gave me a call. He said, hey, Kev, can you come over and help us move some furniture out of the moving truck and up the stairs into their new home? And I said, sure, buddy, you got it, no problem, I'm there for you. He's a great guy. So I go over to the home, and sure enough, there's the moving van. We start to pull some furniture out. I'm starting to take it up the stairs. Some big items. There's a little maneuvering that has to take place. And all of a sudden, there's this random older gentleman, who is assisting us with taking furniture up the stairs. And I kind of thought that maybe my friend knew him. I think he kind of thought that maybe I knew him. Neither of us knew him, and we kind of realized this was a neighbor who saw that we were doing some moving and just out of the goodness of his heart stopped his car and came over to help. What an example for all of us, right? So as we started to talk to this guy, I asked him what he did for work. He said, yeah, I'm retired. And I'm thinking, oh, that's awesome, that's cool. So, what do you do on a day-to-day? We do some traveling, and we get to hang out with our grandkids, so on and so forth. And I said, well, that's awesome. So what did you do for work, when you were working? And he told me, and it was a profession that was just a standard profession, not the kind of profession that I thought would have sort of lent itself to what it sounded like his retirement lifestyle was like. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Congratulations on a working career. And he made the comment that, yeah, it was great. I was able to retire a little bit early so we could do these things. I said, oh, cool. So I'm thinking, man, well, I wonder what this guy did. Let's crack the code. And I said, so what let you retire early? He says, 2 words, you probably know what they are. He said, real estate. And I was like, well, look at that. I'm actually in real estate. Tell me a little bit about what you did. he goes on to describe, we bought some homes and this is how we turned them into some more and so on and so forth. And then we sold the homes and we were able to, have this income and have this residual income from the homes that we own and so on and so forth. And I said, wow, that sounds really similar to something that we've been helping people do for the last decade. And I said, but just out of curiosity, what's the name of the company that you worked with? And he'd worked with our company. I didn't recognize him because I hadn't seen his last name. I'd never met him in person. But sure enough, he was one of our clients. And the fun thing was he hadn't really recognized me, thankfully. And so we were able to have this really cool conversation. And here I saw in reality what it is we do for people. See, financial freedom is more than just money, 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 gold-plated toilet seats and helicopters. I think financial freedom is what he demonstrated to me. The ability to choose how you want to live because you have income that is exceeding your expenses so that you can pick the lifestyle of your choice. Just so happened he'd used our company in order to achieve that, which is kind of awesome. But so here's the question. So what is financial freedom? Well, here it is. When your residual income exceeds expenses. Now, what that means is not just trading time for money. When you trade time for money, that's what we call a linear earned income, meaning I show up to work and I log hours and then the money comes in, right? And I get a check every 2 weeks or twice a month or whatever it is. I trade time for money. What real residual income is something different. It's income that continues to be generated after an initial investment of time, money, and effort. So I think a lot of my wife and I are fans of Carrie Underwood. And I think about Carrie Underwood and she'll go into the booth and she'll record this song and it'll be awesome. And then it's so good that it gets played on the radio and Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora, and she gets this royalty every time that song gets played. Maybe a movie picks up her song and uses, she gets paid. She went in the booth and did the work one time, and it continues to pay her. I'm an author, and I've been really fortunate to author a book that means a lot to me, and every month I get checks that basically flow in from all over the world because somebody thankfully went and purchased a book that they thought could maybe change their life. It just so happens I'm the author of that book. And so that is income, whether it's the audio or the hardback or the paperback or the Kindle or whatever. That generates income for me. It's residual. Now the real key is when your residual income can exceed your expenses, you've achieved financial freedom. I like to show this graph because I think it really illustrates the point of what real financial freedom is. So look at this. We've got 3 individuals. We've got a doctor over here on the left. She makes $250,000 a year, so a little over, almost $21,000 a month. She has $18,000 a month in expenses, so she has a little extra, not a lot. And she has $450,000 of combined assets, no residual income. Every day she's trading her time for money. Seems like she's doing fairly well. We all want to be a doctor and we want to aspire to $250,000 a year in income, but the real question is she financially free? If she stops working today, she may have these $450,000 to live off of, but how long is that going to get her? If she maintained her current lifestyle, it's going to be less than 2 years. Okay? Now what about this guy in the middle? Maybe he's a contractor, makes nearly $90,000 a year. Great income, $7,000 a month, $6,000 in monthly expenses. So he still has a little extra, but he has $1 million in raw land. He's a millionaire on paper. But what does that $1 million in raw land mean? Again, the question is, when he takes off the hard hat, how long is it going to be before he runs out of money? He would have to sell an asset in order to gain the funds from the asset and then be able to use those funds in order to sort of keep on going. And the entire time, he sold an asset. Imagine a pile of money that he's built, and then the only way he can use that pile of money is he has to deplete that pile. He has to initially sell the asset, lose the asset, it turns into cash, and now he has to spend down that pile, right? Maybe get some interest if he's got it somewhere, but generally speaking, again, if he stops working, he stops generating income. Then over here on the right, we have this teacher. So what's her story? She makes $40,000 a year, but she's been investing in real estate little by little, one investment at a time, over the last 20 years. And what that's meant is her $2,300 a month in expenses is now covered by her rental income because she owns 10 properties that generate $3,800 a month in residual income. So check this out. Her expenses are $2,300 a month. Her residual income is $3,800 a month. Who would think that $3,800 a month would feel like some sort of magical, trip to paradise? Yet she is the only one of the three that is financially free because her residual income exceeds her expenses. All we love to help people do is get to this point. I don't care if you make $250 or $86 or $40, whatever it is you want to achieve. The beauty is at DFY, our job is to make you the hero of your own story and help you achieve financial freedom one real estate investment at a time, done conservatively and predictably, as you'll see here in just a second. So here's the deal. We all want this financial freedom. We want this kind of freedom of time. We don't want to have to trade time for money, but there's a few things that limit our ability to be able to get to where we want. There's some challenges that all of us face when it comes to financial freedom. Whether you're 20 or 65, I guarantee these challenges, you're facing them, they're affecting you, and they may be moving you away from the goal that you're trying to achieve. So let's talk about what some of these are. See, here's the deal. You may not know that less than 3% of Americans make over $300,000 a year. Now, I just want you to think about that. That means that 97% of us, with a median income of around 62, an average income of 82, 97% of us are not making a ton of money every month and every year that would allow us to put a bunch away or to invest in a bunch of real estate or whatever the case may be in order to get to that level of freedom. So that means that's one of these challenges. It's hard to make this much money from a job. You go to college, it's rare that you're going to get this type of income. In fact, statistics say less than 3% of us are going to do that, okay? Here's another one. This is from a recent study that was done. Nearly 80% of Americans preparing for retirement lack sufficient retirement funds. So if you take a look at this, the only people that are even kind of close, about half, a little over half are behind the pace they need to be at are 24-year-olds. But if you look at 30 to 60-year-olds, generally they are very behind where they should be in order to retire. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that 80% of us are behind the level we need to be at if we want to retire with the same level of income that we currently make as we work. Let me show you what this means, because the question, of course, how much money do you need to retire, right? What does the actual math say? So let me show you. So this is just an example. If you made $100,000, this website would recommend, as a website called thebalance.com, would recommend that if you wanted to retire age 65 and you make $100,000 a year, if you wanted to maintain your standard of living, you're actually going to need $123,000 a year. Okay? So that means you're going to need $1.4 million by age 65 to maintain your current standard of living. Okay? Obviously, that would be relatively hard to achieve if you didn't have any savings or you weren't putting money away on a consistent basis. Right? Now, how about this? What if you have 20 years to be able to retire? So let's say you're 45. Okay? You make $100,000 a year and you have $200,000 in a 401k or an IRA or a savings account or something like that, and you are saving 10% of your monthly income. With your $100,000 a year in income, with your $200,000 in savings or retirement, and with continuing to save 10% of income a month for the next 20 years, you're still only going to get to $837,000. Not bad. But you need 1.4 if you want to maintain your current standard of living. So you are almost just a little over half where you would need to be if you wanted to maintain your current standard of living. By the way, it says that you would want to have a recommended savings come age 65 of 1.4 million, because that would cover $123,000 of a year in retirement income. Obviously, with inflation, stuff costs more over time. So a $100,000 lifestyle today is going to be different than a $100,000 lifestyle 20 years from now. So this is kind of adjusted for inflation. That's why you need this number to maintain the standard of living, because that's what we're talking about. Replacing income so your residual income can exceed expenses and you can have the standard of living that you want. So here we go. This is how you get there. If you have 20 years to go, you're making your $100,000 and you have $200,000 in savings, you're going to need to save 30% of your income every month for the next 20 years if you're going to get to that number that will allow you to continue the lifestyle you enjoy currently. So it's kind of a kick in the gut. I share this with you because math doesn't lie. It's really easy to say, put money in a mutual fund or a stock plan or a 401k or an IRA and let it ride, and hopefully the market always goes up. Put money in Bitcoin, whatever, let it ride, the market goes up, you're gonna be fine. The reality is the math does not work when you look at traditional retirement plans. 80% of us are not on track. And 97% of us are making less than 300 grand. We don't even have that much extra to contribute to the potential retirement plan in order to maintain our current standard of living. Yet fear not, my friends, it's okay. There are ways to get around this. We think that there's a better solution, and we think that solution is real estate. Now let me tell you why. And when I say we think the solution is real estate, I say that so that I don't want to come off as we know everything. We certainly do not, but here's what we do know. Real estate works when it's done right, when it's done conservatively and predictably, when it's done with a framework and a strategy that is customized and specific to you so that you can start where you are to get to where you want to go, and we can create that path. And the reason is there's some really amazing things that real estate provides that almost nothing else does. And I'm going to go through what those are. So let me share with you the 4 reasons why we believe real estate is the answer for you to be able to redefine your retirement. Here's how. Real estate creates real spendable cash flow without depletion of account balances. Here's what I mean by that. 401k, IRA, you build this nest egg, right? Or like our contractor with raw land, you build this nest egg. It's $1 million, it's 1.4, it's whatever it is. If you have that in a traditional retirement account, what do you have to do in order to maintain your $100,000 a year lifestyle? You have to deplete it. You have to pull out in order to spend and keep your current lifestyle. We have so many people that are totally into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's going crazy right now. It's crashing, it's going crazy, it's all over the place. But what do they have to do? They have to put money in Bitcoin, hopefully it grows. Then if they want to spend that money, they've got to remove it from the Bitcoin wallet in order to spend it. So it's the idea that you're building a pile only to deplete yourself to death, literally, right? Real estate's different. Real estate produces real cash flow. Real estate means you have a pile of money in the asset that is real estate, and it just generates cash flow in rent every single month. Your mortgage, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is this, but your renter is paying this, so it pays all your expenses, and then there's this extra that goes to you every month when real estate's done the right way. That means that it's actually producing real residual income for you, which, one home at a time, may not seem like a lot of residual income. It may be $200 or $300 a home. But over time, and you'll kind of understand what I mean here in a second, over time that grows and compounds and allows you to be able to replace your income, okay? One real estate investment at a time. Okay, the next thing, this is really cool. Real estate allows you to buy with leverage. And really that means the bank is your partner. Okay, here's what that means. If you want $250,000 of assets in real estate, you're only having to spend 50 grand. You put 20% down, the bank takes the rest. Now you own a $250,000 asset that's going to spit off cash flow every month without depleting the account balance. And you didn't even have to buy all 250 grand of it. You only had to invest 50,000 in order to get the 250, okay? Bitcoin, you have to spend 250 if you want 250, then hopefully it'll grow. Right? Stock market, mutual funds, 401ks, IRAs. You have to buy 100% of the asset and then hope that it grows in order to eventually be able to liquidate it and be able to use it and spend it, right? Not the case with real estate. When you use the bank as your partner and you use leverage, you're only buying a little bit of the asset. The bank is taking care of the rest, okay? Now, not everybody's going to buy with leverage, and we understand that. That's why it's important that you have a specific and customized game plan, a framework for you, because everybody's going to be different with that, right? But the vast majority of people will use leverage and partner with the bank so that you can get more bang for your buck, right? Accelerate your game plan so that you can get to the point of residual income exceeding expenses sooner. That's kind of the idea. By the way, that does come with a liability. If you have a mortgage, you have a payment that you're making, but who's making the payment? So if you do real estate the right way and you get the right type of tenant, you're not making the payment. the tenant's making the payment. They're the ones paying the mortgage and the principal and interest and taxes and insurance, and then they're paying you a little bit extra as like a premium to live in your home, right? What does that mean? Your mortgage is $800 a month and you're renting for $1,000 a month, right? That $200 you get to keep. The $800 is taking care of expenses. The $800 is paying the bank as your partner. You're getting to keep the $200. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, here's the next thing that I love about real estate. Real estate allows you to have multiple profit centers. Cash flow, tax benefits, appreciation growth, and you can multiply dollars in real estate. So here's what is cool. If you have money in a 401k or an IRA, and by the way, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rag on 401ks and IRAs. It's just a really good frame of reference for most people because the vast majority of folks have money in mutual funds or the stock market or 401ks or IRAs or what have you. And so it's an easy comparison to make. There are some real benefits of having money in a protected vehicle like that and a tax-deferred vehicle. That is, it's great. But when you compare it side by side to real estate, in our opinion, real estate wins 10 times out of 10. So I don't mean to rag on those types of things. I just like to use them as a measuring stick and as an example. I just want you to know we are not stock market 401k or IRA haters. We just think there's a better way because we know that the math doesn't work for more than 80% of folks utilizing 401ks and IRAs. The math doesn't work to allow them to retire, but the math does work with real estate. So that's the reason for the comparison. Just heads up. So to talk about 401ks and IRAs, you have your account balance, you have to deplete it if you want to spend it, and it doesn't generate a monthly check every month, right? When's the last time your 401k or IRA cut you a check? It didn't. And if it did cut you a check, it's because you depleted the balance, okay? Now, real estate, on the other hand, is a little bit different. Your 401k and IRA, the only way it's going to grow is the market has to grow. By the way, the market is out of your control. You cannot control whether or not the market's going to go up or down. So you are totally at the mercy of the market and the appeal of the masses. Whatever the masses do, it's going to affect your account balance that you see on your quarterly statement. And there's not a lot you can do unless you want to pull out, right? So it makes it a little tough. However, real estate's different. It's not just one profit center where it grows. Real estate has the ability to grow over time. We know it generally does, but that's only one profit center. It also is producing cash flow. That's another profit center. It's also producing tax benefits. That's another profit center. One of my favorite things about real estate is it gives you the ability to multiply dollars. Now, do I have my wallet? I don't. I'll give you an example of what this means, okay? I'm going to use this remote. We're going to pretend, okay, that this remote is a dollar bill, okay? If I wanted to go buy a cheeseburger, I could exchange this 100 pennies worth of value, this dollar bill, for the cheeseburger. I eat the cheeseburger, as you can tell, I like them. I eat the cheeseburger and I exchanged the dollar for the cheeseburger, right? I exchanged 100 pennies worth of goods for a cheeseburger. Awesome. But now the owner of that dollar bill, maybe the owner of the restaurant, let's say they want a car wash. And they can take that same dollar with the same serial number and go give it to somebody who owns a car wash, and they get a car wash in return. So that same dollar, same serial number, only supposed to represent 100 pennies worth of purchasing power, yet I bought a cheeseburger and this guy bought a car wash. And now the owner of the car wash, let's say she wants to, buy a card for a loved one. She goes to the store and she exchanges the dollar for the card, and now that same dollar bought a cheeseburger, a car wash, and a card. The only thing I'm demonstrating is this dollar bill, which is a remote, but this dollar bill is supposed to represent 100 pennies worth of purchasing power, yet it just purchased 300 pennies worth of goods. Now, imagine if we could harness the power of dollar bills like that in our own investment portfolio. Real estate gives us the ability to do it, but it's a little bit different. So when I say multiply your dollars, here's what I mean. Let's say that now this remote doesn't represent a dollar, it represents a down payment. You put a down payment into a home, that home's going to generate cash flow and growth appreciation, hopefully, and tax benefits. It's going to produce these profit centers. And let's say that over time you save up that cash flow, you save up that, or you watch that appreciation grow, and you say, you know what, there's enough money that this piece of real estate has generated that I'm going to refinance some money out of it, or I'm going to sell that home. And when I sell that home, I'm going to get my original down payment plus the equity growth plus all this cash flow that I saved, and it's now enough to go and buy 2 homes. So your original down payment comes back to you with all the extra from the real estate, and now there's enough to buy 2 homes. And now both of those homes are producing cash flow and tax benefits and appreciation until there's enough to go buy a 3rd home and a 4th home, so on and so forth. Here's what that means. You literally have the ability to harness the power of velocity and grow your dollars when they're used in real estate, which is so cool and something that very rarely is seen anywhere else. Okay? Another reason we like it. Here's the last one. Real estate acts as a hedge against inflation. Plain and simple, when inflation takes place and things go up, everything costs more. I was just at my home, and on our refrigerator, we have these magnets. There's a magnet that says what things cost in 1938. That's when my dad was born. We have a magnet for what things cost in 1968. That's when my sister was born. And then there's a magnet for what things cost in 1979, which is when I was born. And you can watch the increase, right? And then if you go and take a look at how much a gallon of milk or a postage stamp or a home or an average salary or whatever is today in 2018, you're going to see a hockey stick increase. Now, what that means is over time, when we print money, when there's all kinds of things that happen, and we have this fractionalized lending system, and the banks can loan $10 to 1, and so all of this extra money is sort of injected into the economy, and what happens, supply and demand, there's a natural sort of upward pressure on price. Well, here's the thing with real estate, when things cost more, homes cost more, rents go up, cost of building goes up. If labor and materials goes up with inflation, then when a new home is built, it's going to be worth more because things have gone up. And if you own an older home in that neighborhood, that new home that just sold at a higher price is going to force the value of your home up a little, okay, which just means because you own a tangible, real asset that you can touch, that you can lick the paint if you want to, whatever, you own it, it's tangible, and it acts as this hedge against inflation. It's rare to find something that provides multiple profit centers, allows you to multiply your dollars, creates cash flow, and acts as a hedge against inflation, and allows you to buy with a fraction of what's required to own the asset. Real estate does all of those things, and it's those things combined that allow you to redefine your retirement by replacing your income one investment at a time with all of these benefits in real estate that allows you to finally take a step forward to maybe where you're trying to go and achieving that level of residual income, replacing expenses so you can be free. Does that make sense? You know, there's really 2 ways to invest in real estate. We know real estate's good, right? We just talked about it. So how would one go about investing in real estate? That's got to be the question, right? It's another one of the challenges we face. We all want to have that residual income exceeding expenses and want to have that joy and that freedom. Yet there's these challenges, income and inflation and taxes and you know, the market not maybe giving us what we want. There's all these things that we're facing, and yet real estate could be the solution. Real estate could be the answer. But now how do we go and get the real estate? And there's really 2 ways in general that I know that you can go and get real estate. One way is the normal way. This is the real estate education model that we sort of tried to disrupt when we started our company 10 years ago. And then there's the way we do it. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. Because I want real estate to help you redefine your retirement. And I'm going to show you how easy and simple it can be in just a handful of steps so that you can begin replacing your income one real estate investment at a time. So let's talk about it. Here's the normal way, and I'll go through this quick so you kind of know. The normal way is you invest in your local market, right? Because, hey, you're going to have to manage this thing. So you drive within, 10 or 20 miles of your home. You're looking for a deal. You're finding a real estate agent. You're hoping that I'll put all these things up here so you can see them on the screen. It's this idea that you're making, you can get to the home whenever you need to get to it. And if something goes wrong, if you get a phone call and on Thanksgiving, you're close to be able to go and make the repair. It's something you can see and touch and smell, and you can know what's going on. You can drive by and see if your tenants are doing something crazy in the front yard and whatever, right? And the idea is you got to find an agent that can help you find the right home. It has to be the right price. It's got a cash flow. You need a good exit strategy. You got to figure out how much it's going to cost to rehab it. You're going to have to to make offers and get that home and find your financing and get closed on it and do your rehab and then interview the tenants and choose the tenants and then manage the property in an ongoing way. And you got to keep your finger on the pulse of the market so you know when to sell and just hope that you're going to make enough money to get another investment, right? And that's all done by you. You're having to do all of that. And you're not done yet. You better figure out what you're doing before you take all those steps to find the property and do all the work to make sure it's going to work. So you make the decision to be in real estate, and then you got to get educated. You got to pay for a book or pay for a course or go to an expensive boot camp. Pay for the coaching. Then you're going to have to go walk through 100 homes because that's what they all say. Walk through 100 homes so you know what to buy. How long is that going to take you? And then you're going to have to decide what type of real estate do you want to do. Do you want to do foreclosures or wholesaling, or do you want to do flips, or do you want to do single family, or do you want to do commercial, or do you want to do multi-unit, or do you want to do duplexes or fourplexes? You're going to have to figure out the type of real estate you want to do, decide what market to invest in, how are you going to acquire it, how are you going to find the funds to do it, are you going to hire an expert to help you find the deals, are you going to find a portfolio lender, are you going to use a traditional mortgage, do you need to go find a partner to be a cash buyer, then you have to sort through a pile of potential deals in the right market, then you got to purchase your deal with your private lenders or your cash or on contract, then you got to coordinate and execute and fund the rehab and find the tenants and get the rental agreement signed and manage it indefinitely, and then you have to time the market just perfectly to exit. See, we got problems, right? 80% of us aren't on track to retire. 90% of us trying real estate in order to fix the retirement problem are failing. We've got to do something different. And my friends, that is where we come in. We designed our company to help you, the investor, transform your life and redefine your retirement by investing in the right type of real estate in the right markets where the vast majority of the work is done for you. So that the guesswork can be taken out so that you can just do the right thing and try to and begin the process of freeing your family from financial burden. Just to give you an idea of what we've been able to assist our clients in accomplishing is over the last 10 years, we've helped our clients purchase over 3,500 homes. They've seen it over $75 million in combined equity growth. So our clients, if we just take all the equity growth and combine it, over $75 million. Because again, we are facilitating this process for our clients. We're not the ones who own these homes. We are here to do all of the work for you so you can gain 100% of the benefit. And I'll describe that a little bit more in a second. Over $150 million in rents collected by our clients, over $400 million in total assets that our clients have been able to purchase. And by the way, if you haven't, on our website, you can go and take a look at the last 3 years of transaction reports and actually see every single home that our clients bought, so you can see what the prices were, how much rehab was included, and how much money they're making, or how much rehab was done, not included, but how much rehab was done and then how much those clients are making. And it'll give you an idea. This is very real for us because this is what we do. We show up every day to help you free your family from financial burden by redefining your retirement and replacing your income one real estate investment at a time in a way where it's done for you so you're not the one having to figure out everything like I just described to you. We currently have over 2,200 homes that are being managed by us for our clients, and that is all income that's going to our clients, which is really incredible. Just to give you an idea, you heard from some of our clients earlier at the beginning when you listened to the video. This is a great couple. Doctors Bill and Debbie Hackett mentioned, within a few months of discovering DFY, we began purchasing single-family investment-grade properties in 4 of the best markets around the country. We and our retirement accounts now own 7 rental homes, all of them delivering substantial equity growth and cash flow. I love stories like that because it's real. This is cool. So here's the question. If real estate could help to fix some of the problems that most of us are facing, which way would be a better way to try to invest in and own real estate? Where you invest in your local market like I talked about, or would it be better if you could remove geography as a condition for investing? Meaning you could invest in the best markets in the country, staying right where you are, living right where you are, because the work would be done for you in a way that would allow you to remove geography as a condition for your ability to invest. What about this? Would you rather spend lots of money up front to learn, or would it be better if you didn't have to pay anything up front? to go and do the right kind of real estate? What about this? Would you want to spend hundreds of hours of researching and doing all the work to find the right type of real estate and the right type of home and walk through all the homes? Or would it be better to just spend 3 hours reviewing a handful of hand-picked properties that are right for you and your game plan and your future and deciding from those? Which one would be better for you and your schedule? How about this? Do you want to personally execute all the hundreds of steps? Or would it be better to just execute a handful of steps and have somebody else do the majority of the heavy lifting? The normal way of investing in real estate is you find it, you fix it, you finance it, you manage it, you sell and lease it, and then you figure out your next steps. My friends, at DFY, what we've been doing for 10 years, which have created the results that I just shared with you and that you can go on our website and see the reports of, is we find it. We take it to the best markets. We fix them up. We finance it for you. We get it sold and leased out, get it leased out or sold, whichever is right for that part of your game plan, and it's all done for you, not all done by you. See, we are big fans of consistent and predictable real estate. We believe that a system creates predictability, and that predictability minimizes risk, and minimized risk means potential for greater profit. We do the majority of the work for you so that you can experience all the benefit, and we as a company get to benefit by helping you to succeed. In other words, we do not succeed as a company unless you succeed as an investor. Yet you own 100% of your property, 100% of the profits, 100% of the gain. The way it works is we collect a small nominal fee at the time of closing for each property that we assist you with. The rest of the profits are yours. But it's our job to find it, fix it, finance it, sell it so that you can gain the profit and let us do the heavy lifting. So here's kind of the question at the end of the day. All right, we know there's challenges to our financial future. We know that we want to create financial freedom and redefine our retirement by replacing our income, having our residual income exceed our expenses. And we know that a 401k or an IRA or traditional investing, it's not going to do it. That's why 80% of the folks are behind the curve, right? And we know that real estate, because it has multiple profit centers and it can multiply our dollars and it's a hedge against inflation and it creates cash flow and it does all these really cool things and we can buy it for a fraction by using the bank as our partner. We know that all this cool stuff about real estate could help to free our family from financial burden and free our minds from financial difficulty over time, one property at a time. However, if we're going to do real estate, we may have to do all that hard work that I described earlier. So how do we make all this just work for you? It's really easy, it's really simple, and it's just 3 steps. Step number 1, you schedule a call with one of our dedicated specialists. Real simple and straightforward. Step number 2, you create with us, we create with you rather I should say, your specific game plan framework. And step number 3, you begin investing according to your resources, your values, and your goals. It's that easy. Step 1, scheduling a call is as easy as this. If you've ever been to a mall, brand new mall, and you know that you need to get to some store in the mall, what do? First thing you do is you go to the directory, right? And there's a couple pieces of information you need. You need to know where you are and where you're headed, and then you need to know the fastest path from here to there. When you schedule a call with a dedicated specialist, that is their job, to sit down and have a personalized, customized, incredibly valuable, specific conversation to your wants, dreams, wishes, and goals that talks about where you are, where you want to get to, and then they put a framework together that shows you how to get from here to there. We give that to you. You don't have to figure it out on your own. Once we know where you're at and where you want to go to, we know the resources you have, we know what your credit score is like, we have an idea of if you can go and invest right away or if you need to do a little preparation before you invest. We have an idea of how much real estate you want to buy, what types of markets you want to go to. We take our clients to markets all over the country based on their needs. Some markets are more expensive, some are less expensive. Some have a greater shot of growing over time. Some are higher cash flow. Some are newer homes. Some are older, more established neighborhoods. And it all varies based on your needs as the investor who's redefining their retirement or replacing their income. We do the game plan so we know where you are and where you need to get to, and then we put that framework together based on your specific needs so that we can take you to the best markets all throughout the country that will do the right thing for you and for your future. And then we go to work. and you begin investing according to your resources, your values, and your goals. The journey to replacing your income begins so simply. It's just a brief conversation. There's a lot of information you still need. I wouldn't expect you to say, yep, let's just go do real estate today. You are going to want to spend some time really figuring this out for you, but you don't have to do it alone. That's why we're here. And we do that completely for free. There is no fee to work with us. There's no fee to get a game plan. The only time you would spend anything is when you're ready to close on the property. That's it. Isn't that cool? We think it is. So here's how easy it is. You need a game plan, and we can get that to you in about 30 minutes. Figuring out where you are, where you need to get to, and then getting you from here to there. And here's how easy it is. You can email us at gameplan@dfy-realestate.com, or you can visit our website. Go to dfy-realestate.com, and you're going to see a button right on that homepage that says Get a Game Plan. When you click that button, it's going to take you to this domain, dfyrealestate.com/schedule. You could also just put that domain right in, or that URL right in your web address bar, dfy-realestate.com/schedule. And here's what you're going to see. It's going to be a real simple either or. Either you want us to give you a call, so give us your name and your email address and your phone number, we'll give you a call. Or you can click on this button right here, and when you click on that button, it's going to pull up our calendar. It's going to pull up our schedule, and you can scroll through and see what day is going to work for you and what time during that day is going to work for you, and then we'll give you a call at that time. You don't have to call us. Again, if you want to just go to the homepage and go to the website, great. You can go to dfy-realestate.com, and you're going to see this button that says Get a Game Plan. You click that button, and again, it's going to take you to this page. So real simple. You can email us, gameplan@dfy-realestate.com, visit the website, and schedule a time or let us know, and we can give you a call. It's 3 simple steps. Schedule a call, get your game plan framework, begin investing according to your values, your resources, and your goals. Our job is to help you redefine your retirement, and we do it one simple real estate investment at a time. I hope today was beneficial. There's a lot more you can learn. Click around the site. We've got reports that we can show you. We have videos we can show you. We have testimonials from our clients. We've got everything. You can meet the team and see who's a part of the DFY team. You can take a look at the markets that we're investing in and look at real, live, actual properties that our clients are closing on. There's so much information that's available to you, but it all starts with a single phone call and a scheduled game plan, so we can take you from here to there and help you free your family from financial burden, redefine your retirement, and create that future that you've always wanted. Remember, there's 2 things most of us don't get to decide when it comes to retirement: when we want to retire and the income level we want to be at. With DFY, you get to choose both. Thanks so much for tuning in, and feel free to reach out to us and let us know how we can serve you and serve your family. Thanks, everybody.